While the hunter was well within his rights to be out here, as he had gotten permission from the landowner, the Knutsons' main concern is the possibility of an accident due to this highly used trail behind their house. Another popular piece of technology here at Thorncrest is the EverSound. Unlike traditional hearing aids, which amplify all the sound in the room, the EverSound headphones only work with what is coming from the microphone. It also has an adapter piece which will work on any piece of technology that has a headphone jack, meaning television, radio, and more. In addition to having working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your home, it's also a good idea to have a fire extinguisher on hand. With local clubs and opportunities for people of all skill levels, bridge is a very easy game to get involved in. For those who decided not to brave this morning's cold or simply were not lucky, there's still plenty of time. Pheasant hunting season continues through sundown on the 1st of January. Near Austin, Alex Tejada, KTTC News. The competition is broken into 7 different classes. Double elimination drag racing is the style. The top speed is the goal. And with over 500 acres of natural restored habitat, the Hormel Nature Center is a perfect place to go bird watching. More than just a history lesson, Big Island Rendezvous has tons of hands-on activities, including the tomahawk throw.
When it started in 2012, the haunted house had to use the old elementary school's gym. Since then, they have found a new location and new opportunities.
We've been able to expand what we've been able to do and continue to do different haunted houses with a different theme, different layouts.
And if you've already been to the attraction, this year presents all new frights.
The whole idea is that they're going to do a sleep study, but it goes horribly wrong. So it's basically one nightmare after another until they finally reach the end and they finally wake up.
The many different rooms and actors that make up the attraction are thanks to the help of community volunteers.
A lot of time goes into it, and hopefully people will really appreciate it. I think over the years people have really given us a lot of applause for the kind of details that we've had.
And if you want to come to the haunted house just to have a good time and not be terrified, they provide glow sticks so the actors will know not to scare you.
I don't like jump scares. I went through it last year with a glow stick. So I like scaring people. I don't like getting scared myself.
So what do they think the scariest part is?
The outdoor room with the trees and all that stuff, because it's so dark and kind of closed in on either side, you know, they're so close to you.
The clown room is probably the worst one, that if they're going all out with what they normally do, I think that's the one that would freak me out the most.
The clown room is kind of iffy for me too. So I'd prefer being in the costume.
And for Brian Berg, despite the hours of hard work, the end result makes it worth the effort.
Ultimately, I think the hardest part is ending each season, because it seems like it's more and more fun and more enjoyable every year.
In Harmony, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.
Tom Caitlin, Erin Cords, who is pregnant, woke up around midnight on Thursday morning smelling smoke. The Rushford Fire Department says had she slept even 30 seconds longer, the family would not have survived.
It probably only burned for another 20 minutes because everything was already burned when we got there.
The house was unsalvageable, but all 6 of the Cords and the unborn child did get out alive.
We heard the ambulances go by our house at just before 2 in the morning, and we didn't really know what was going on at that point, and then we looked out our window and noticed that the fire trucks were at their house.
The father, Jared, went through the burning home, inhaling dangerous amounts of smoke to rescue his 3 young daughters from their rooms.
He is that type of person. I mean, he's going to help out anybody he can, and you know, if anybody else was in the same situation, I think he would help, you know, save if somebody else couldn't. I mean, he is a very, very awesome guy.
Jared and the 3 girls were flown to Regions Hospital, the burn center in St. Paul.
The family's going to have a very, very long recovery. This isn't going to recover overnight. This is going to be years to come for recoveries for these young children and the father.
While the Cords family may face a long road to recovery, physically as well as financially, the Rushford area is one made up of resilient people.
We live in a small community, and up on our ridge where we live, we call it, you know, we're just very tight-knit families, and you know, we look out for each other and help when in need. And
they have. There is already an account set up for the family at Rushford State Bank, where people have been sending funds to help. Local businesses are also collecting money, and a Cords Family Fund Facebook group has been set up.
With the support of family and friends and a community, I think they will be just fine, and I think they're an amazing family and they have good family support too, and I think definitely they're just going to become stronger, and they will overcome this.
Fine says her children are concerned about the well-being of their friends and neighbors. Counselors and teachers at the Rushford Peterson School are answering questions from concerned students and consoling others. The second grade class is writing letters to their classmate who was hurt in the blaze. We will have more information on how you can help this family get back on their feet on the web version of this story. Live in the studio, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.
The storm dumped several inches of snow on Freeborn County.
Pretty used to it, but days like this still aren't, I guess, normal.
Albert Lee schools closed because of the weather.
I didn't have to worry about getting to school on time, so I just have to be available online.
But many still had to be at work for overnight or early morning shifts.
We got a bunch of stuff ready just in case something happened last night or today, so nothing's happened really so far from what I've heard, but just ready for if something does, I guess.
Last night wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad, but now it's just a sheet of ice everywhere. And she's driving me home because I don't feel comfortable. My headlights are out. One went out on the way to work.
I got carts out there that are stuck, and it's going to be a long day.
Those on the way to work or to see family for Thanksgiving found the roads treacherous.
The interstate was actually pretty bad. It was only going like probably 30 to 40 miles an hour, and everything else was worse than that, I guess, even, so not good.
We left early because of the forecast. Driving's been good until I got to Owatonna, and then the wind really picked up, and that's when I started seeing semis on the ditch and so forth. So it's like a skating rink down here.
Now that the majority of the snow is fallen, all that remains left is shoveling it out of the way.
It was an experience. It was wet and heavy, but we're in Minnesota. We get used to it. It'll be all right.
It's heavy and it's thick. I go until it's done, and then I go home and collapse.
So how are people dealing with the winter weather?
I have a truck, 4-wheel drive. It usually gets me around pretty good.
I just gotta stay positive, and then look forward to the, warm days in the early spring, hopefully, and we'll go from there.
Some even enjoy it.
I've been here for about 2.5 years, but I love the snow.
I've been here about a year and a half, and we like the snow, and it just happens to be from where we're from. That way you like it so much, so.
And others use it as a reason to escape.
I don't miss the cold weather, so you guys can keep it. I'm heading back to Palm Trees.
Love it or leave it.
In Albert Lee, Alex Tejada, KTTC News. Finding themselves with extra bedrooms as their older children moved out, Mike and Megan Nelson began welcoming foreign exchange students into their home. After becoming certified as a foster family, they brought 3 sisters from Wilmer, Janelle, Dayanara, and Aaliyah, into their lives.
It is a lot of work, and you have to understand that I'm in for disappointment and heartache and tough days, but the rewards that go along with it make it well worthwhile.
Far exceed.
Their stay soon became permanent.
We only came in here knowing that it was just going to be 3 months, just a foster care thing, and then now it's a forever thing, so it's really exciting.
The Nelsons say that there is a stigma and fear when it comes to fostering teenagers, but they have found that their girls ages 12 to 17 break the mold.
We've actually found that teenagers, because of what they've come from, can also understand and show their thankfulness, and they have a lot of love to give.
However, there was a transition period.
We do have a few house rules that are hard and fast, and we don't bend on them, but we've had to bend on a lot of things in life to learn how to get along together as a family.
I'd say the most hard part was getting used to a mom and dad figure in the house, and having them telling us what to do.
Used to having a house full of kids, Mike and Megan find that more children is not as stressful as one might imagine.
We find that the more we have, the easier it gets, just because everyone's helping each other and supporting each other and loving each other.
So how did their sons, Miles and Patrick, feel about having 3 new siblings?
The 2 that live here at home still, they think it's pretty awesome. They think it's pretty cool. They're kind of used to us having people in and out and having a large family, so adding more was not a big deal for them at all. We have 2 boys, and so I think that they have had a little awakening with girls in the house, but they fight like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it's normal
teenage stuff now.
Mike and Megan say they are thankful for the Pine Island school system, which has helped the girls feel at home in their new community. Now that the girls have settled in, their Cedar Court home now houses a larger and happier family.
And I love that we have a mom and dad finally. You know, for our whole lives we didn't have one, and now we do, and they're awesome. So
it makes life seem full or fulfilled when we have a bunch of kids in the house and we have love.
In Pine Island, Alex Tejada, KTTC News.